So, like you know, the podcast your mother warned you about. Today we are here with Stewart from the Loading Crew. He has an awesome product for us called RPG Jelly Plushes. Tell us a little bit about your product.
First of all, thank you for having me here. Second of all, this product was actually kind of the brainchild of my wife and I. We started doing conventions back in like 2013 or so. She would make homemade plushies and pillows. At first, it was largely fan art stuff. Like she did homemade Pokemon, mostly stuff that Nintendo didn't do. And we wanted to branch off into our own original things. And so we saw the anime called Princess Jellyfish. And it was this really cute little show about all these like really average people living in Japan. And one particular character had this like imaginary jellyfish friend. And we liked the show so much that we did a fan art piece of that. It went over pretty well, and then we started branching off into our own characters, and we're a really big fan of fantasy games and like classic RPG stuff. Okay. So we started applying classes to these jellyfish, like paladin and rogue and wizard and bard, and then we started branching off into other sea creatures. Like if that image comes up of the narwhal, and he's our narwhal warlock, and we call him the Narlock. And
it literally just popped up as you said that. That was perfect timing.
Yeah! Perfect. And so it went from there. Last year we tried to get a game funded around it because I'm actually a teacher in most of my time, and I teach a program called Game Maker. And I became fairly proficient with Game Maker, and we wanted to basically do a Kickstarter to get the assets funded, and we were going to throw in these guys as like a little bonus. Like, it was going to be an app game. Like if you buy a jellyfish plush, we give you a code, and that code unlocks that character like with full stats, boosted stuff like that. And
oh, nice.
Yeah. It was a fun idea, and it was kind of playing off of the Amiibo stuff at the time, or the Skylanders, how if you buy a toy, it gets you an in-game benefit. Uh-huh. It was really ambitious, and it went over okay, but it did not get funded. So now we're just focusing on the plushies, just kind of going back to our roots for a little bit.
Okay, so if you get the plushies going, would you pick up on the RPG?
I think so, but not until after we get a solid fan base. I mean, my wife is relatively successful on Tumblr. She's got about 5,000 followers there for a little webcomic she does.
Awesome.
It's a fan comic of a fan comic. It's Tumblr is weird.
No, that sounds pretty awesome. You gotta appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And then I've got a small YouTube channel, and we've each got a Discord, and we're managing small communities, but it's just not enough to get what we need. Even with the friends we hang out with, there's just not enough interest there just yet.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's hard to push. I mean, it took a while to get this going too. So, so how long have you been making the plushies?
It's been actually, my wife only has been sewing for a couple of years. Let's see, about 6 months before we started doing conventions, she was going through postpartum at the time, mm-hmm. and she was a stay-at-home mom with nothing much to do, so she was just losing her mind. So she started sewing, and 6 months after that, actually it wasn't even 6, I think, but we got invited to a convention. And after that, the ball just kind of went rolling from there. So she's only been sewing for about 4 years. And
they look like excellent quality for someone who's only been sewing for 4 years.
Thank you. Those characters, the ones you're actually seeing, though, are actually our factory productions. And that's why we're doing the Kickstarter anyway. Mm-hmm. Those particular characters are actually her most popular ones, like the Paladin and the Rogue. We just couldn't keep them on the shelf. So we actually managed to get those funded already. They were available at our store, but we temporarily took them down for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I do I DM for D&D, so everyone loves the little rogue plushie or rogue characters. I can imagine how the plushies do.
Oh yeah,
everyone's a sneaky awesome person.
He definitely seems to be the most popular, and those were the good decisions at first, but now she wants to do the mage next because the mage is just a nightmare to hand sew because of all those extra props. And then I told her we need to stretch out to other like sea creatures, which is where the Narlock came from. So yeah, and that's just kind of where it's going. And yeah,
That's pretty awesome. What conventions have you been to so far?
Oh lordy.
The answer, if you're...
The answer is yes, but the big ones that we do are Youmacon in Detroit, Michigan. The fun fact with Youmacon, that was actually rated like #1 tourist attraction in Detroit, which is kind of sad when a nerd gathering is your biggest city's pull. See some other.
That sounds pretty good. I mean, basically, when you hear about stuff that happens in Detroit, it's not normally good news. So it's great hearing stuff like that.
No, yeah, definitely. Let's see. Shudocon's another big one. West Virginia PopCon, Glass City, Derby City. You know, we're just kind of everywhere in the kind of northwest area, from like Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, even Chicago. So
that was about to be my next question. Would you ever head out Colorado ways?
Colorado, it's a little far. It's not outside of it. We're trying to branch out to further away. It's just the only problem is it's just me and my wife. Yeah. So I only get so many days off from teaching. So like I get 3 personal days a year. One's for Youmacon, one's for Shudokan, and then one is for an emergency. Mm-hmm. So we can't branch off too far because most conventions start on a Saturday, most conventions start on a Friday.
Yep. Yeah. We do Denver Comic Con on DesuCon, Colorado Springs Comic Con, and a few others. But yeah, it's always a Friday through a Sunday. Mm-hmm. The only one that we've been to that was a Thursday even was, or even different, was a Thursday, and that was for Salt Lake Comic Con.
That's one of the bigger ones, isn't it?
Yeah, they're doing pretty big. Because Salt Lake Comic Con does their event, and then they do an X-Fan experience or something like that. So they basically have 2 a year.
Yeah, the huge ones tend to stretch out to Thursday because there's just so much they have.
Yep. But no. So I was looking at your Kickstarter earlier. I got a little link for it right here. Mm-hmm. We'll post a link below in the YouTube page and on the Facebook channel. But it's for the RPG Kickstarter page. It's just RPG Jelly Plush Kickstarter. If for some reason that doesn't link, but we advise you use the link. It's a lot easier.
The Bitly isn't working?
No, the Bitly works fine. I'm just
okay.
Case.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so it looks like they got backers. You're about 17 days to go on your Kickstarter right now. Mm-hmm.
We were actually. About that. It wasn't. We have gone 15 days without getting backers or anything. A friend of ours advised us to do a very short one. They said 20-day Kickstarters are really popular right now. Okay. So we went on their advice. So that's why it seems really, really fast.
Oh, I can understand. I mean, if you do like multiple short ones instead.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. I don't know. The little characters look excellent. I imagine I'll be picking one up myself.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. The video. I'm particularly proud of the video because we are working on a $- budget for that video. So, I borrowed my school's camera and we threw something together in 20 minutes. And the characters are actually voiced by our some voice actor friends of ours.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I was watching it earlier. It's just I advise everyone go check it out. It's just goofy in an awesome kind of way.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as I clicked that play on that first video, because they got 2 videos in their Kickstarter page. You can check that out if you'd like to. One of them is that RPG page, and the other one kind of explaining a little bit about their campaign. And they got a bunch of different levels, starting looks like at $5. Mm-hmm. And just going up from there, depending on how much you guys would like to help them out. But you get all kinds of cool stuff. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So, but Are you looking at doing any more other characters, or is it this core 5 until you get the campaign kind of going?
We actually have like a small cast. Like when we started doing the game, we made a whole bunch of different characters and assets, including there was actually a warlock jellyfish that came before the narwhal, and he kind of got pushed to the side because the narwhal was just more interesting. Let me see if I can. We've got classes ranging from like paladin to to medic. One of the ones that people find either funny or confusing is an elf character, and we just call him, like, he's got a proper name. It's like Moonbeam the Elf or something, but every character just addresses him as Elf because it's just kind of a play from first edition, how first edition D&D, an elf was a class. It was just so good.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, and so we've got a large cast of characters, including like several gods and like deities and stuff. If you scroll down to the button set, there's actually several of the other characters that don't make quite an appearance in this Kickstarter, but maybe in some future ones.
Oh, I see him right here. Okay, hold on. I can kind of show people what this looks like real quick. The buttons actually look pretty cool too. Let's see, where are we?
Yeah, thank you. We actually had two special guest artists for that one. The first two, the Kickstarter Party and the Unnatural Forces, they were done by our friend Yamer Pro, and she's a professional illustrator for, I'm not certain what company she works for. And then another one is a fan or a friend from Tumblr who just donated a large cast, and I was very pleased with that, and they look excellent. Okay. I especially like the Gods and Kings ones. I thought they were a great set.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the buttons right now. That's pretty cool. So you got 20 different types. So I don't know. They look cool. That's I don't know.
Thank you.
But so gonna do a bunch of conventions. I mean, where are you looking at taking this? I mean, what's your ultimate goal? Do you want to just focus on the plushies, or, like I said, if you want to get those gold, do you want the RPG to really push forward?
I do not. I still love the convention scene, but there is a bubble that's going to pop. If you haven't, like, it used to be, there were like 7 conventions a year per state, maybe. Now it seems there's a convention almost every weekend, and it's really hurting the environment in lots of ways. Fatigue, overexposure, just people are running out of money to go to them, and they just seem to be like the hot item. It's going to be like the video game crash in the 80s, or 70s or 80s. So.
But I mean, even we don't hit all of them. We purposely only go to maybe 6 or 7 a year, just because, I mean, you end up flooding the environment with it. So no, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. So that was where the thought of the game came from, was just, I mean, if we have something to keep us floating when the bubble pops, that was the plan. And plus, I am a student of game design. I've played games all my life, and I like puzzle games, and I actually like the free-to-play microtransaction apps. They're just addicting to me. I like it. So that's kind of what we were going for. It was just a fun little distraction with our characters, and if you bought a plushie, the plan was to integrate it with the app, just something fun. It definitely wouldn't be necessary. Like, you don't need to buy a plushie to beat the app, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know. You said your wife does illustrations, like comics and stuff like that.
Yeah, she does. I can link you to her Tumblr if you want. If you can give me a second.
I was just curious if ever it would these characters would fall into maybe a story panel.
She does do a Sunday, like, almost Peanuts comic of it. This is the Jellyfish comic, and there was a real positive response to the Kickstarter video, and with that, I thought about turning the Kickstarter video into like a little mini joke video series like once every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just people ask about it.
Yeah, because people asked about it. They were like, I actually posted in some tabletop discords, and everyone was actually going. So you want a Patreon to get this video series going, right? And I said no, but there's a thought.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like these comics.
Oh, thank you. He likes the comics. So I'm wearing headphones.
I consider that a very much a work in progress too, because it's playing with the characters, and I'm just getting back into doing comics. I've been doing comics for probably steadily for a year now, and this is the side project to my main story. But I try to inject some of my love of the character writing just as characters in it. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the reasons why I had to stop it, because I'm getting to a very big plot point in it, and I want to do this really big, important scene, and I don't have time right now because I'm full-time conventions with the spring season in full swing. So that's why that's the thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, they're. I'll be showing this to my fiance, that's for sure, and whoever else on Facebook really wants to look. So we'll get it posted and definitely tell people about the comic in addition to the plushies as well.
Much.
So, nice. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So, I mean, so you got the comics, you got the plushies, a possibility of the RPG in the future. Dependent. No, it sounds like you guys got a good thing going. I want to see it go further, that's for sure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
So I mean, because we do like we go to Denver Comic Con. We have a booth there every year for the podcast, and we see a whole bunch of different plushies, and they're all you kind of see the same thing over and over again. These are different, and I like it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
So, but yeah. So is there anything else you wanted to tell people?
Not really. I do have a YouTube channel. I'm taking it like pseudo seriously. I play Pathfinder with some voice actor friends from like Team 4-Star and stuff. I do a Pokemon tabletop game that's a pretty long running series. It's got over 100 and some episodes so far.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and the fun thing with that one is we're doing a series of one-shots with other internet celebrities. Like we just did, I don't know if you know the channel Awesome Guys, like Nostalgia Critic and SLYKRadio and them.
I don't, but I guarantee you my friends probably do. I got friends at YouTube for hours.
Gotcha. Well, we're doing a series of we're finishing up a one-shot with some channel Awesome Guys, SLYKRadio, Suede, the Dom, and someone named Kaluna. We're going to finish that up, and then I'm doing a one-shot with a group called The Third Wheel. They're pretty popular on YouTube. They do this really fun tabletop series. It's more narrative than tabletop based. They do use... One second. They do use tabletop as a medium to tell their story, but it's mostly based on their characters. They spend a lot of time editing out the actual... mechanics of the game.
No, I can understand that. We do a lot of narrative in our D&D campaigns as well. I might do 3 or 4 maps, but a lot of it is interaction. So, no, I understand.
And then we're moving on to some other people. So we're really excited about that. And at the end, we wanted to do like this MCU Pokemon Grand Tournament where everyone who's had a piece of the story comes in for like a Pokemon League, and that was just I mean, it's going to be a logistical nightmare because this is like 8 to 24 people all around the world coming in for a tabletop game.
Wow.
So,
and you have a YouTube channel for this, or is it a Twitch feed?
We do have a Twitch and we have a YouTube. If you can give me just a second, I can get you that. /user. Is that it? There we go. There you go. And then I can send you the Twitch. The Twitch is very low. I mean, it's not bad for a tabletop Twitch. But I'm still very not well known just yet. So.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. All right. Cool. So I got the link for both of them. So I'll post those as well.
Thank you.
All right. Let me check one of these out. I'm just curious.
Then, like,
I
the
think
rest of
that
them...
should be fine. And then, like,
Yeah.
I hopefully we're not in a situation.
Okay. All right. I get what's going on here. Cool.
Sure thing.
Well, awesome. So yeah, we'll get the links posted for everything. Try to let people know what you're all about. That's for sure. But yeah, if that's it, I think we're good.
Thanks a million, my friend.
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, this is SLYKRadio. We've been here with Stewart from the Loading Crew, talking about the RPG Jelly Plushes. And make sure you click on the link and check them out.